2,000 years ago, I fought my way out of that cave, became Iron Man. Realized I loved you. I know I said no more surprises, but I was really hoping to pull off one last one.
I keep telling everybody they should move on. Some do, but not us.
Even if there's a small chance, we owe this to everyone who's not in this room to try.
I will be back here. I will be back here. I will be back with vengeance.
Faithful, the time is now. Let's go.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the new season of the Niners Now podcast. Excuse me. We are getting ready for the 2024 season as we speak. Thursday night game is going on between the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. My name is Niner Beto, and my co-host is Jess. How you doing, Jess?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. We're getting ready for a new season and get ready to have some fun and talk 49er football.
Let's go.
My goodness, let me tell you, season cannot get here soon enough. It seemed like forever, especially for Niner fans, because, man, we definitely had our share of drama all off season. Is Ayuk going to sign? Is he going to be traded? Is Trent Williams going to retire? Is he going to play? All these questions were up in the air, and a lot of 49er fans and content creators had their opinions on this, and it went pretty crazy if you ask me. But at the end of the day, it hasn't surprised me, and I don't think it surprised you, just that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch took care of their business. They know exactly what they're doing. Parag worked out Trent's contract. He's back, and Ayuk was signed for 4 years. He'll be here for the next 5 years under contract. It might have taken a little longer than what we expected or wanted it to be, but the Niners organization has not ever shown us any indication that they don't take care of their own players. Now that it's over, Jess, how do you feel that all the band is back together again?
I think it's great. I know I was kind of sick of the whole Ayuk situation. I got to a point where it was like, you know what, either, shit or get off the pot for that, but at the end of the day, like, we got it done. Trent Williams, to me, is the more important player out of the two. So I'm so glad that Trent re-signed, or got extended, I should say. But it's time to play 49ers football. We got a good Monday night opponent in the Jets, and I'm sure it'll be, a good game to start, but I feel that we pull away, and, I'm just so glad that everybody's back together and we can just focus on football.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself, Jess. No more drama, at least not off-season drama. We don't know what's going to come up during the regular season, but we will definitely be talking 49er football now. The band's back together again. Questions are asked whether Trent Williams is going to be able to play well on Monday night, and people have asked me about Ayuk, and the only answer that I could truly give them for those that asked was wait and see. We're going to find out on Monday night if Trent Williams took a step back because of this offseason. But I'm more concerned about Ayuk than I am Trent Williams, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Jess, because Trent Williams is a veteran. He doesn't need minicamp to get going. The fact that he rested his body, he didn't do all that extra work, kind of benefits him because of his age. Brandon Ayuk, on the other hand, is one that kind of needs to be out there, but he was in the meeting rooms. He was listening to all the installs of the offense. So I want to get your thoughts first, A, on Trent Williams, and then B, on Ayuk. Do you think it's going to affect them on Monday night?
See, I'm kind of the direct opposite. I think I know Trent Williams was working out. He owns a gym in Houston. But there's nothing like football reps. Obviously, I've never played the game before, but it just goes to show just with any sport. I mean, you could work out and stuff like that, but you need to get out there. And being that Trent Williams is 36 and he's older, I do feel that, it he may be taking a step back a little bit until he gets back into game shape. Ayuk is only 26. So yeah, I expect him to be a little bit rusty, but not like Trent. But I'm kind of hoping that, with Monday Night Football, the adrenaline, it's prime time, all that goes out the window and, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I think once the whistle blows and the ball's kicked, everything goes back to the way it was. They start playing. It's not like they learned how to play football yesterday. These guys have been doing it for years. Um, I expect, and the beautiful thing about Ayuk, even if he has a little rust, which I don't think he will, you still have Debo, you still have Kittle, CMC, Jawan Jennings to kind of lift up the load, if you will, and kind of implement Ayuk little by little. So I'm not really concerned from that aspect because we have great ballers on the other side of him. They can step up and definitely take care of the Jets. So, Jess, let me ask you, going into Monday Night Football, opening against Robert Saleh and his New York Jets, let's talk Jets defense first. Which player on that defense you feel that if he has a great game against us, it can hurt us?
Uh, I'm going to be paying attention to the Brandon Ayuk Sauce Gardner matchup. Um, I really don't think their D line is going to do much. Last year their run defense was ranked 25th in the league. So I definitely expect us to run the ball a lot. Hopefully JP Mason gets out there and gets a lot of carries because I'd like to see what, he can do, the more carries he gets. But like I said, I'm going to be paying attention to that Sauce Gardner Brandon Ayuk matchup for sure. And I think, George Kittle, like I always say on my show, good things happen when the ball's in George Kittle's hands, and I think that he's a matchup nightmare for their linebackers.
Yeah, yeah, he is. He's a great tight end for a reason. Top five tight end. What he can do not only in his pass catching but in his blocking ability and what he brings to the team. To me personally, I love the attitude, the atmosphere, the aura that he brings into the offense. He gets that team going. Something that I love about Fred Warner defensively as well. Those guys are pumped, they're juiced, and they have a way of getting everybody, whether it's on the defense or the offensive side, getting ready to rock and roll because of their energy. And that's one of the things that I love about Kittle and Fred Warner is they bring the energy and they back it up, right? They back it up with their style of play. They make huge plays when plays are needed to be made. So that it's interesting that you said Sauce Gardner and Ayuk because that's going to be definitely something to look at come Monday night. Let me ask you. Hold on. Let me ask you, Jess. Um, Offensively, who do you want to keep an eye on their side of the ball to kind of keep an eye on someone against our defense?
I think Brees Hall. I think he's a good back. He's definitely gonna test our run defense for sure. But I just, having Malik Collins in there, I mean, yeah, you know what? We don't have Eric Armstead anymore, but I feel like who we did sign will get the job done. And then you have the two ends. You have Nick Bosa, you have Leonard Floyd. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be seeing ghosts when it comes to Leonard Floyd. Because if you remember last year, Leonard Floyd made the sack on Aaron Rodgers when he tore his Achilles. When Leonard Floyd was with the Bills, and yeah, I'm just excited. I mean, I'll be at the game, so I'm really excited just to see our guys, and Levi Stadium's going to be rocking, and it's just going to be a wild atmosphere Monday night.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to be a little bit of a fanboy right now, coming to my Niners. You mentioned his name, Malik Collins. I think this guy's going to be a very good pickup for us. I really do. Maybe it's in the fanboy in me, but I don't care. I'm going to say it because the way I watch him trained, the way I watch him play when he's with the Texans and not with us, and the way that he manhandled those two Raider offensive linemen like they were just a bunch of rag dolls. This guy is huge. He's big. He's powerful. And I think he's really flying under the radar, which I like, by the way. Let him fly underneath the radar. Eric Armstead within himself was a great player. I'm not going to diss on him. I know a lot of people don't like him because whatever reason they have. I had liked Armstead. I think when he was healthy, he was great. Great Ron Stoffer, but he wasn't that great against rushing the passer. I think Malik Collins brings that mentality. So I'm looking forward to seeing the strength between Collins and Hargrave pushing that pocket in the middle, and then you got Bosa, which we all know what Bosa can do when he has a whole offseason to do it in. And now you add someone like Leonard Floyd, he's kind of up there in age, but this guy every season, 10 plus sacks. He brings pressure. He had some great moves. And I think now, and then going back to the old scheme, right, where we're going to have stunts, we're going to be doing things that we kind of got away from last year because of the defensive coordinator change. Now that we brought we promoted Nick Sorensen into that spot, he's going to go back to the basics, the way that D'Amico ran the defense, the way that Robert Saleh ran the defense. So it's going to be interesting to watch this game because both defenses on the Jets and Niners are very alike in the way, the style they run, right? So it's going to be really, what could Aaron Rodgers do against our defense compared to Brock Purdy against their defense? So this game is going to be fun to watch. Do you think it's going to be a high-scoring game, or do you think it's going to be more of a defensive battle and a more lower scoring game for you, Jess?
You know, I'm torn between that because it really, like, Aaron Rodgers didn't play in the preseason. He's got some rust to knock off. So I think that's a big advantage for us. And you know what? And the fact that we have Brandon Staley, who has put in different wrinkles in the defense, as Nick Bosa alluded to a couple months ago about Brandon Staley. But it's hard. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I think we'll start to run away with it, as the game goes on. I don't think it'll be like such a low scoring game like some predict. But we'll see what happens. I think it'll be a good game, and I think the Niners get the dub.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. The matchups are going to be good. Their run game is good. They have three top running backs. They can pound the rock. So I'm curious to see um, if we're able to close the gap. I know we're going to miss Greenlaw. I'm looking forward to see the young kid, not the young kid, but the new kid from Green Bay. I keep forgetting his name. The
Devondre
linebacker.
Campbell.
Yeah, Vondre Campbell, right?
Devondre.
Devondres. Okay, thank you. I want to see what his presence does here. He looks like he's fired up. He looks like he came. His last year at Green Bay wasn't exactly the way he wanted to go. And when a player is in a situation he don't want to be in, it kind of takes away of their performance. And I know a lot of people were like, this guy's old now, but I think he's renewed his mind. He's rejuvenated here in San Francisco, and change of pace is always good. Um, how effective do you think he'll be this year for us until Greenlaw comes back?
Right now he's actually uh my one and only concern. Because we're spoiled. We have Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, and with Dre Greenlaw being out and Devondre Campbell coming in, that's big shoes to fill. Because Dre Greenlaw, holds his own out there, and it's just unfortunate, as to what happened in the Super Bowl. But Devondre Campbell's my one and only concern. Hopefully it's not too much of a concern going into Monday night. We are playing against Aaron Rodgers. I mean, even though he hasn't played in preseason and he only played four plays last year, um, you know, we'll see what happens. But hopefully Nick Sorensen and Johnny Holland and KJ Wright, they have their linebackers good and we'll be ready to go.
I like that. I like that. Um, they're off the Jets' offensive line. Um, they kind of upgraded a little bit on the tackle side of that offensive line, but these guys are not young. They're old, they're up there in age, but they're good tackles. Their guards and center are not that great. So this is why I believe that Hargrave and Collins can really, really have a nice day against the middle, putting pressure on Aaron Rodgers. And we all know Aaron Rodgers, if you fluster him, if you hit him, if you get him out of his rhythm, if you get into his head, he is not the same Aaron Rodgers when everything's going his way. Not only that, Jess, but I want to get your thoughts. Aaron Rodgers hasn't played good ball in a minute. Okay, it's this last year in Green Bay. That season was not good. Then last year he played 4 snaps and got hurt, and now he's coming from a major injury. He's 40 years old, coming off of this major injury. Do you think that the Jets fans are a little bit afraid, or territory where Aaron Rodgers? Because I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be the same Aaron Rodgers that we're all accustomed to. I think he's still a great quarterback, but I don't think this guy's going to be that one guy that throws 30 plus touchdowns with over 4,000 yards. Do you think he takes a step back, or is it just wait and see type of thing? Because it's really unknown.
I think Aaron Rodgers will always be good. We seem to be in his head these past few years, even with him being in Green Bay. Excuse me. But I just think you know regardless whether or not whatever, Aaron Rodgers is going to be Aaron Rodgers, and we just have to be ready for what Aaron Rodgers that shows up. And we can't see because here I am saying like, well, he hasn't played in preseason, you got to knock the rust off, and yeah, that may be true, but it's still Aaron Rodgers. So everybody has to dot their I's, cross their T's type deal.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, we're gonna have
And
to
as
wait and
far
see.
and as far and if I may, like as far as their offensive line, they have 3 new starters too. So that right there is an advantage for us as well.
Yes, yes, indeed. Real quick, I just want to acknowledge some of the people that are in the chat. Everyone, welcome to the chat. Welcome, nice to have you. Thank you for joining us tonight on our new episode of this season of the Niners Now podcast, where we come live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you can join me and Jess, and we'll be talking about the game. We'll preview the game before, and we'll talk about the post game and get our thoughts in. But I want to welcome the people that I just see walked in right now. Eric Davis is in the house. What's up, Eric? And I
Hey,
got
Eric.
Tina D. Jackson. This young lady here, she has her own podcast on Facebook. She breaks down sports, not only football. She'll talk basketball, baseball. This young lady knows her sports. I'm going to be going live with her. I'm going to be having her on a guest on my Niner Sickness podcast soon. So stay tuned to that. She'll be coming on board as a guest, and we'll have a lot to talk about. But welcome, Tina, to the chat. And then, like always, Old Faithful, Gina Harvey,
Tina!
one of the faithfuls, wonderful woman out there from all the way from Philadelphia. Yes, Philadelphia with the Smelly Eagles are, but she is a faithful and she represents the red and gold in Philly with pride. So I give her kudos for that. And then we got King Mustafa in the house. What's up, Senor? Rogers is going to be rusty. Well, hopefully we add to that. And then let me make sure I don't miss anybody else. We got Daniel Barry Sports in the house. Welcome. We got Jimmy in the house. What's up, Jimmy? Good to see you. So I think Aaron Rodgers will have rust. I think that he'll come out trying to maybe later on in the season, I think later on, maybe 2 or 3, 4 weeks, he starts getting his feet underneath him and he starts feeling himself and maybe plays better. But I expect him week 1. And then he has to face a defense like ours. Now, he has been practicing against a very good defense as well. So he has that going for him. But their front guys are not our front guys. Yes, they have
Correct.
Colin Williams, which is great monster in the middle, but they don't really have great outside pass rush, not like we do. So he's going to find out right away, Jess, that his front four is not our front four. And I think we're going to bring pressure against him. I think we're going to frustrate him. I think we're going to move him out of his spots. And I feel comfortable with our secondary. We have the deepest secondary this season, and I'm excited about that. So let's talk about that a little bit. How excited are you about our secondary? Because I don't know if the last time we had a deep secondary like we do this season.
Like our secondary. I specifically like Malik Mustafa. I think the guy, well, I should say kid. I think the kid is, he's definitely coming into his own, and it's only a matter of time where he's just, he's already making a name for himself. But you have Jersey boy Jair Brown back there. Talano Hufunga's working his way back. Diamador Lenore, Isaac Yadam, Charvarius Ward. Um, I really like our secondary. And I just, last year you can be like, oh, our secondary was kind of like weak, as even the right tackle spot, as everybody still talks about that. But I think that, this year our secondary, I don't think we have to worry about our secondary this year. I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm excited definitely about our secondary. I'm fired up. Listen, Lenore has been great. Every year he's gotten better. He's finally established himself. He's comfortable in this defense. Then you got Wooney on the opposite side. This guy's a vet. He's going to get the bag and well deserved. Hopefully he's with us, but that's a discussion for another day. But these guys are great. And then you bring in someone from Florida State like the kid Renardo Green, who has had a great camp. And then you bring in Isaac Yadam from New Orleans. He can play outside. And then we have Rock Sin also can play outside. So we definitely have depth. And then he might be out there Monday night. If he's not, I think that our safeties will be okay. Jair Brown, and then we'll have, is it Odom that will be out there for that game? But I'm
George Odom, yep.
Yes, George Odom. Thank you, Jess. I expect Hufanga to be out there if he's ready to go. The fact that we have Hufanga and Jair Brown as our two safeties, and then you have Mr. Malik Mustafa in the wings, the closer. if you will. Uh, this secondary is going to be really good. And we all know this. The secondary helps out the defense front as well as the front helps out the defense. So now, if the secondary can shadow these receivers and the quarterback has to hold on to the ball just a bit longer than he wants to, opens doors for Bosa. It opens doors for Leonard Floyd. It opens doors for Hargrave or Collins to do their job and bring havoc to the quarterback. And this is what I expect. And then we can't forget my favorite player on defense is Fred Warner. This guy is a beast, all pro, conduct himself on and off the field like a pro. And I know this, everybody knows this already, but this is our first live for the season. I just want to congratulate him and his beautiful wife on having a beautiful baby, their first baby. Prayers to his family. He is a father now, so his perspective has changed. And I'm just really happy for him and his family. I'm happy for the Niners that we got him. Let me ask you, Jess, in this game, who do you think, if we can put our biases aside for a second, who do you think can outmaster who? Do you think Robert Saleh can outmaster Kyle, or you think Kyle is going to have is the teacher going to teach his student that I might have taught you a lot of things, student, but I didn't teach you everything?
I think Kyle Shanahan is going to have the upper hand. I'm not saying that because I'm a huge fan of Kyle Shanahan. It's just when you look at the two teams, and I mean, Robert Saleh and I believe their GM is Joe Douglas. I believe they're on the
Yes,
hot seat. Okay,
the GM,
and
yeah.
they need these wins, and they need the New York Jets to have a really good season. So there's no doubt that they're going to put their best squad out there, their best foot forward. But, Kyle Shanahan going into his bag of tricks and just being, zoned in and, ready to go. I think Kyle has the upper hand for sure.
Yeah, and according, and we're not gonna stay on this topic at all long, but according to a certain content creator out there, won't mention his name, but we know who we're talking about, that Kyle and John Lynch is on the hot seat themselves. Uh,
Wah, wah,
yeah, listen,
wah.
I have a new computer, everyone. I haven't transferred everything from my old computer to my new computer. Normally, I have sound effects to go with this. Those were not set up yet, so my apologies. But Jess, hey, wonderful job right there with that sound effect. Appreciate you. But I'm with
No
you.
problem.
The audacity to bring up that for clicks, and I don't care what people say, it is for clicks because people. Yes, I understand we haven't won a Super Bowl. I understand we haven't won the big game, but you can't take away from what Kyle and John Lynch has built in Santa Clara since they took over. It's not like Harbaugh when Jim Harbaugh came, he took over a great roster, managed it
And he built
better,
shit.
yeah, and made it better. Kyle and John started from scratch. I believe they kept like 3 of the original players, and they gutted that roster and build it. People may say, "Well, we don't draft well in the top first or second, whatever." Not every team drafts well all the time. It's a shoot. It's a 50-50 when it comes to drafting. But if you look at the later rounds, and to be honest, a lot of people hit the early rounds because it's easier than the later ones. We have hit a lot of our players in the later rounds. That 5th round is like a beautiful round for us. I mean, the Kittle, the Greenlaws, and I'm probably not going to mention a lot of players. I'm going to forget which ones were there, but a lot of our players who are starters have been drafted in the late round. What they have established here in San Francisco, Jess, winning games, making it fun for us to watch and enjoy. I don't know about you, Jess, but let me ask you: did you enjoy that ass whipping of the Cowboys last year?
He did.
Did you enjoy going into Philly and shutting up the Philly fans by kicking their ass there?
I sure did.
That's because we have a roster that is able to do that. So yes, I understand. Win a Super Bowl. That is the objective of every team. But just because you fall short of getting there, of winning it, does not make you a bad head coach. It doesn't make you a bad GM. I know a lot of people get in their feelings. A lot of fans get in their feelings. They're like, well, um, Kyle needs to be fired because he can't win the big one. Are you forgetting Chip Kelly's? Are you forgetting the
Jim Tom
Jim
Sula.
Tomsula, the guy that drafted Alex Smith? What's his name? In 2005, I can't even think of his name. All these head coaches, all these losses, the embarrassment of watching our team get their butts kicked, kind of like where Arizona is going through right now. Do you think Arizona fans are looking forward to making the playoffs? They're probably thinking, where are we going to be at the end of the year so we can draft more players to come in? At least that's where I was back then. Now it's about, we're going to make the playoffs. Who are we going to face? And let's win a Super Bowl. You can't get there unless you build a roster like John Lynch and Kyle has done. So I want to ask you, Jess, do you think, and I know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway, is Kyle or John Lynch on the hot seat?
No, they're not. I mean, Jed York just said in January, if we lost to the Lions, it still would have been an accomplished season. Okay. And now we're saying just because the Brandon Ayuk stuff and the Trent Williams stuff is done, now we need another headline. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah,
I mean, to be honest with you, I think this certain content creator needs to get a life. Um,
Don't
we
hold
all
back,
know
girl.
who it
Don't hold
is.
back.
Yeah, I mean, we all know who it is. I mean, just to get headlines and just to get clicks, as you said before. But this is a little ridiculous. I mean, for to say the front office is not happy with Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, everything goes through the front office.
Correct.
They're on, they're all on the same page. They're all good with one another. I mean, get out of here with the clickbait and all that crap. I mean, it's complete bullshit.
It is. And the fact
Get a
that
life.
they have sources that says, I don't know who their sources are, but they're not very well informed. Why would Jet York want to get rid of a coach and GM that, even though we haven't won a Super Bowl, has brought millions into the stadium, into the business? Fans are always going there. You are from Jersey and you're flying out to the game on Monday night. Fans, I'm
Just
pretty
flew out
sure.
to training camp in August.
Yes, and I was going to mention that, but let me ask you, just be honest. And this doesn't make you a bad fan. It just makes you a realistic one when I'm going to say this. So if the Niners were terrible and we were going to win maybe 3 games this year, would you fly out for Monday night game?
Would.
You would? Well,
I definitely
that shows
would.
your faithfulness, and that's good for you. But most people wouldn't. Let's be honest. It doesn't make them a bad fan. It's just realistically, why do you want to spend your hard-earned money on a team that is not that good? I say all that to say this. This team is freaking good. Listen, in 5 years, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 3 NFC championships, or 4. I think 4, right? So in 5 years, people don't understand that. That yes, we haven't won the Super Bowl. Yes, we should have won it already. And I think honestly, and I'll say this until the day I die, I think losing to the Rams that year was our championship year, because for Tart to drop that down ball, we get past the Rams that day, there's no way. I don't care what people say, Cincinnati's beating us. No way. That would have
Yeah,
been
I
an
agree.
opportunity. That's just me, though. It is hard to play against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. But even then, it's not like we just got our asses kicked in those games in 2019 and 2023. We were actually give them headaches. Things just didn't work out the way. When you lose Greenlaw to a freak injury like the way it happened, I don't care what people say, Jess. It kills the morale. It kills the energy. People get deflated when one of your best linebackers goes down for no damn reason. I know that killed the morale in that game, and things started to switch out. And I hear a lot of, these fans that always complaining about Shanahan. I'm tired of it. I'm really am.
Yep.
What kind of fan are you? And I'm going to speak on this for a minute because it's really frustrating and upsetting that, okay, I can understand, you don't agree with everyone or with everything that Kyle does. That's fine. That is your objective. You don't have to agree. Is he perfect? No. Far from it. Does he make his mistakes? Yes. But you know what I've seen, Jess? From day 1 to year 5, he has grown. He has learned. He has done much better. And as long as somebody is growing, as long as someone is becoming better versions of themselves, that is good. He's not repeating the same mistakes over and over again. He's a head coach for the very first time. Jess, people forget this. This guy's a brilliant offensive mind. He knows the defenses in and out. The way he sets the players up to be successful. Other than Andy Reid, and I still think he's better than Andy Reid, but Andy Reid has the hardware, so we'll leave it at that. But I am sick and tired of hearing people want to be fire Kyle. It's like, who in the hell are you going to replace Kyle with? Get out of your feelings.
Right, exactly.
Get out of your feelings. Who do you replace Kyle with? And it's not, well, we'll find somebody. Seriously? So
And I actually,
Go ahead, Jess, jump
not
in
to
there.
cut you off, but
No,
like
that's fine.
my favorite thing is hearing people still stuck in the Harbaugh era,
Yeah.
as if Jim Harbaugh is miraculously going to come back and coach the Niners again. That's like my thing. Like, oh, Kyle Shanahan will never be like Jim Harbaugh. Like, really?
He's better.
Exactly.
And this is not me being a homer, and people don't have to agree with me. He is better than Jim Harbaugh. Absolutely
100%.
better than Jim Harbaugh. And that's my take on that, and people can agree or disagree. That's fine. It's all good. But what Kyle Shanahan brings to this offense, and the thing about it is just the players love him. Players
Yeah.
love Shanahan. They love playing for him. This whole Ayuk had issues with the team. He was hurt, blah, blah, blah. This is all stuff that is being blown out by the media. All I know is he signed his contract and he was at a party with who? With Kyle Shanahan. Ayuk, Debo, Kyle Shanahan, I forget who the other guy was, but I'm pretty sure there were many more there. That did not look like a player that doesn't like Kyle. Even if they showed up to the same spot together, the fact that they're taking a picture together speaks volumes that they don't have no issues. People can say, well, maybe they have to show up to the event. Okay, fair enough. But they don't have to take a picture together. Right? And they did. So this whole garbage about players don't respect Kyle, Kyle's losing the locker room is just a bunch of BS, and I'm tired of it. I know this is a preview of the Jets and Giants, but I want to get that out of the way because we're going into 2024 with the chances of winning another Super Bowl. And I'm hoping he punches it in. I'm rooting for Kyle. I'm rooting for John Lynch. I don't understand how you can call yourself the faithful if you don't support your front office. Again, you don't have to agree with everything they do. You're welcome to comment. You're welcome to speak on what they do right or wrong. But to want him fired has never made any sense to me, Jess. What's up, Kenny?
Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch deserve a Super Bowl win.
They do. They absolutely do. And listen, he'll get his Super Bowl. But just because you don't win a Super Bowl does not make you a good head coach. Mar Levy has never won a Super Bowl. He was a heck of a coach for
Mhm.
the Bills. You got other coaches. Um, the guy that used to coach the Chargers back in the day.
Marty Schottenheimer.
Yes, never won a Super Bowl. You're going to tell me he's not a good head coach? Stop it. You know, you don't have to win a Super Bowl to be a great head coach. Now, is it nice to win a Super Bowl? Absolutely. Does that add to your resume? Absolutely. But that doesn't, to me, at least to me, does not define you as a great head coach if you don't win one. People don't realize how hard it is to win a Super Bowl. Now the Kansas City Chiefs are being an outlier because they won two and now they're going for three. But not every team can even smell a playoff game, much less a Super Bowl. Cowboy fans, when was the last time you even been to an NFC Championship game? Other teams out there, when will you? I think I don't know, Jess. I think that we get so we're so what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out here. We're so spoiled. There you go. So spoiled
Yeah.
that if we don't win a Super Bowl, we suck. First of all, you have to be good to get to a Super Bowl. The whole narrative, I don't know. I'm gonna have you read this from Kenny real quick, and you can answer that comment.
Brett Veach, head scouts of Philly, found Pat in 2016, 6 months before the draft. After he was drafted, they sent Pat to a quarterback coach who was also the same guy who scouted Andy Reid. No joke.
Thoughts on that? Thank you, Kenny.
Whatever, it's the Chiefs. I really don't care.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was gonna come out of you. So I don't care if they're not the Niners. Um, but I'm with you. I hear you. I think we're gonna have a great.
I will say this. We were definitely the better team last year in that Super Bowl, hands down. And I think that this year's team is better than last year's team.
Oh, I agree. 100%. I agree with you, Jess. This is our year. I love the draft this year. I love the draft every year, but this year in particular, I really really love. Uh, Dominic Pooney right away starting at the right guard. I know he's taking over one of your guys that you like, and Spencer Buford, but I like Pooney there. Um,
Yeah, I actually, you know what? I like Dominic. I know Spencer Burford's my guy. He was on our show. But I like Dominic Pooney. Dominic Pooney loves my Shanna shirt that I wear with Kyle Shanahan's face all over it.
there you go.
So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Pooney, but he's definitely an upgrade there. But hey, we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
It's just so nice to have Trent Williams back.
isn't it? I'll be honest with you. I can see ourselves going into Monday night without a you. And I'm talking about just for this game. I'm not talking about the whole season. Calm down, everyone. I love Ayuk. He's signed, but I can see myself going into this game without Ayuk. It was really hard for me to see ours going into this game without Trent Williams. With that said, Trent Williams, the guy protects Brock Purdy's blind side. Brock Purdy does no longer have to worry about that side. So I am glad they signed him, and I knew they would. The Niners have not indicated in any shape, way, or form they lose players. Yes, DeForest Buckner was an exception, and only because he wanted more money than the Niners felt he was worth. So they let him go on. But of every player, Kittle, Warner, Ayuk, Debo, Bosa, they have signed. So even though it did get nervous wracking, it was close to the season. But in my mind, I'm like, the Niners haven't shown me otherwise. I think we'll be fine. And we did. We got them signed a week and a half before the game. Now they're practicing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be excited to see Trent Williams out there. I mean, if we didn't have him this game, and Jalen Moore had all of camp and all of preseason, so I wouldn't be too worried, if he sat out this game. But it's good to have Trent back.
Absolutely. Jess, this we're gonna cut it short today because I do want to watch this Baltimore game. But
Yeah, me too.
uh guys that are in the chat, thank you for showing up. We're gonna be here every Thursday at 5 p.m. unless something comes up and we'll notify you. Please follow me on X so that you can be informed of our shows. If anything changes throughout the week, you will be notified there. And Jess, is there anything you have going on your channel this week prior to our next meeting?
Well, there is no show this coming Wednesday because I'll be out in California for the entire week.
That's right.
But the following Wednesday we're gonna have Damon Bruce on from the
Oh
Damon
my!
Bruce
Oh,
Show.
I love that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have him on, and we're obviously gonna talk 49ers football. So come join us, East Coast Red and Gold podcast, every Wednesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Come over, like and subscribe.
There you go. There you go. And then for myself, on my channel, we have on Tuesday nights at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. Myself, Brandon, and Peter, we come together and we talk 49er football. So join us every Tuesday at 6:30 here on the Niner Sickness Podcast. We love to have you. And then on Sunday nights, I go on by myself. I call it the Niners After Dark, and I believe that's at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come and join me. We talk football, and that's where I talk not only Niners, but I talk about all other teams that played that week. So come and hang out with me. Love to have you. All right, guys. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you next Thursday at 5 p.m. If everything goes well, enjoy the rest of the game tonight. Football season has started. Enjoy the game tonight, but reserve all that excitement for Monday night because we're going to be 1-0 after we take care of the Jets.
Niners.
We're out of here. Good night, everyone. Thank you for being part of the show. Peace. And I forgot I don't have an exit button. Hold on, guys. This is what happens when you have 5 screens. You got to figure what screen is what's on each screen. There we go. All right, guys. We are out of here. Peace. Go Niners.